Well, hello, welcome back to one of my videos. My name is Ace, and a few days ago we hit level 100 on the Druid on Hardcore. And in this video, I kind of want to showcase the pulverized build that I ran. I made a different video a moment ago talking about tips and tricks you can do while leveling. And I was gonna go into the paragon board on that one, but then I noticed we were talking for 30 minutes, and I was like, if I gotta go into Paragon into that one, it's gonna be like an hour video, and I did not want to do that. So if you watched that previous video and you were like, wait, like there's not really like any build in the tips and tricks videos, because I did say I wanted to quickly go over my build as well, but I did not do that. It is here. This is the official video for the build that I ran. The things that I took, the adjustments that I made, because at first I just did a research and I looked at things like maxroll.gg where people uploaded guides, but then I quickly realized that a lot of things on Max Roll were, specifically designed for softcore. The guys were, more softcore orientated, and I was like, listen, we can't do that. We're playing hardcore. I don't want to run around, I don't want to run around with like 1k health and get one shot. So this right here is what I used for hardcore. My stat allocation, I'll talk about it, and I'll quickly showcase my Paragon skill tree. I will specifically talk about the glyphs that we've been using that deviates from the things that are on maxroll.dg and their guides. This one is more orientated for sustain and the way I have built my board, so to speak, which one I went first, etc, etc. I will quickly talk about that in this video, and yeah, let's get started. So first off, we got hardcore druid level 100 about a couple of days ago. I think it's been 4 or 5 days now that we hit 100. I've been working on my Uber Lilith kill. We're still not quite there yet. It has been going well. We made some close calls, but it was kind of rough. So anyway, let's get started. What to build, or what do we do? Like how does this work? Well, first off, if you're looking for a leveling build, I will quickly tell you you can use this build, but make some small deviations, because we are running a unique. I'll talk about the unique in a minute. First off, if you are leveling, do not play Earth Spike. You cannot use this. You play Storm Strike. This is all fine. I would skip Earthen Bulwark, and I would pick up Poison Creeper. Again, in my tips and my tricks and tips videos about Druid leveling, I pointed this out as well. It's like, if you're wondering why would we take Poison Creeper, you can check out that video. I'll go into a bit more detail, and I'll give a bit more insight on that. But yeah, pick up Poison Creeper. Don't pick up Earthen Bulwark. Pick up Trample and pick up Grizzly Rage, and then instead of going Earthen Might, if you are leveling, I would highly suggest do not go Earthen Might, go Ursine Strength, at least until World Tier 3, or you get Lucky Hit on gear, right? There's a stat on gear, Lucky Hit chance, as you can see on my ring. Until you get Lucky Hit on your gear, I would not recommend picking up, Earthen Might. I would go with Ursine Strength. It is a much more potent keynote until much later, okay? So that's just heads up. If you're leveling, you feel free to like copy everything else. Everything is fine. I would just, make sure you pick up Poison Creeper. Make sure you level up Call of the Wild to buff our companion. And there's also a legendary aspect that I went over in my previous video. Like I said, the tips and tricks. Check it out. You'll like understand why you want to do that. All right. With that out of the way, this is the more end game variety build. I'll showcase why we pick up these abilities, why we go this way, which notes to take, etc, etc. Okay, so first off, this is a earth, nature, magic, physical damage, whatever you want to whatever you want to scale it with build. Okay, and the main source of damage is pulverized. It is a pulverized werebear build. We're almost always werebear 24/7, and we basically built around the idea of triggering Earthen Might to give us an insane amount of burst. As you can see, Earthen Might is what it does. I'll quickly read out. With a lucky hit, damaging enemies with Earth skills has a up to 5% chance to restore all your spirit and make all your next attacks guaranteed critical strike for 5 seconds. Now this chance is increased when we critical strike or when the target is stunned, immobilized, or knocked back. We have a lot of stun because every time Pulverize overpowers, we stun. So this triggers, it's not that bad. If you have Lucky Hit on your gear, this will trigger quite a bit. and it feels absolutely amazing into big packs, big density. You will constantly throw out big, like 2-3 million pulverizes, absolutely demolishing everything in your pad. All right. So first ability we want to take is Earth Spike. Earth Spike is a very fast ability. There is something that you cannot see when you look at the skill tree, but there is a hidden attack speed modifier on each skill. Certain skills have a hidden attack speed modifier. You can check it out, I believe, on d4planner.com, where you can see exactly the modifier on each skill is. I believe Earth Spike has a quicker attack speed modifier, so it'll attack faster, but also on top of the fact that Earth Spike is, first of all, an art skill. It has a very high lucky hit chance, and whenever we hit a stunned enemy, you'll throw out 2 of these. So this is, a very good way if enemies are CC'd and you almost have no more spirit. Earth Spike is a great way to trigger Earth and Might, the passive I just showcased, okay? It is a great way. Of course, our damage skill, Pulverize, we pick up Enhanced Pulverize, and we go into Raging Pulverize to trigger stuns. Wild Impulse, core skills cost more spirit but deal increased damage. This is a multiplier, as you can see by the X, the little X in the skill tree. Whenever you see the X, it is more damage, okay? It is not additive, it is more damage. So keep that in mind. Here we take Predatory Instinct. As you can see, this is a plus. Oh, sorry, excuse me. You can see this is a plus, so this means that this additive scaling. This is just 6% flat additive critical strike chance. And critical strike is very important for our build. This is damage reduction, incredibly good, 9% flat. We are always bear form. Earth Bulwark is a very good defensive tool. We pick up Enhanced Earth Bulwark and go into Innate to trigger extra damage and also give us a little bit of extra lucky hit chance to, again, trigger the Earth and Might. That's our key goal in our build, to trigger Earth and Might as much as possible. We don't need any more Fortify because through Debilitating Roar and Grisly Rage, we generate a lot of Fortify. You could put 1 point into this. I put 3 points into this because I had nowhere else to go, but you could put also 1 point in. This is not really a very good note. Non-physical resistance by 15%. You might think, well, that's a lot, but actually it will just, like all the other resistances, which are kind of weird, they will DR each other. So this is like more like a 5% or something, but okay. This one, however, is very good. You want to max this one. Whenever you use a defensive skill, you get a 15% damage reduction. And these are our big defensive skills that we want to rotate. So this is a very good node to take. We skip companion. We don't want to use any companion unless we are leveling, like I said earlier. And then here we want to put 1 point in trample to make it so that we can move out of dangerous situations or engage into situations, because trample will generate a little bit of spirit, but also will make it unstoppable. That is the big thing we want to have, unstoppable, and it'll add CC if you knock people into the wall. So it's a very good ability. Crushing Earth, just another increased multiplier damage to slowed, stunned, or immobilized enemies. We are always slowing, we are always stunning, we are always maximum fortify. So this is just another 24% increased multiplier damage. Incredible. Critical strike helps us a little bit with fortify. I think you don't really need these, but then again, I wouldn't really know where to put points. Take this one and put it into other points. So you can just take this one. It's completely fine. And here we have our final one, Grisly Rage. It's our ultimate skill. It's our big bear form. It's incredibly strong ability, incredibly good. We go into Prime, Grisly Rage, and then Supreme. It's this is like, I believe this is the strongest ability in the entire game for everything that it offers. Nothing even comes close. 20% bonus damage multiplier, which increase every second by 3%, which is absolutely crazy. Flat 20% damage reduction, permanent unstoppable, generates a huge amount of fortify on us. 8% base life as fortify every second while it is active. It is active for up to 22 seconds because of our legendary and our spirit boons that I'll go over in a second. Divines is a very good skill to pick up. 12% increased more damage to elites. And then finally, like I've been talking about, Earth and Might, our keynote that we really want to keep on triggering, okay? So this is how the board would look. You can change this one, safeguard it. You can play around with this. You can take a little points, maybe put them in trample if you want more damage, or put them in natural disaster. It's not that good. You could put them in circle of life if you want a bit of sustain, but they don't offer a huge amount of things. This one, this is all about fortify. We don't need this because we generate a lot of fortify. We don't need this. This is like entirely unnecessary. We don't have any poison, so that's kind of pointless. We don't play companion. There has been talk about nature's reach because our legendary does, or our attack does have a ranged component to it, but you want to be in a perfect spot where shockwave and the pulverize hits both target and you do not get the bonus from nature's reach. So it's not a bad note to pick up, but it's also not a great note. Okay, so keep that in mind. We never transform into a human, so this is pointless. And basic skills generate more spirit. We are talking about, I think 3 points would give us 2 more spirit, which is just completely pointless, right? So that's about all the notes you can put in and talk about the flexibility. You know, make your own decisions if you think like, oh, you know, I don't care for my 2% damage reduction. I don't care about this. My fortify is fine, right? You can play around with that a little bit. Everything else, pretty set in stone, pretty necessary. You know, it's pretty good, right? So that's the skill tree. I will quickly talk about explain and talk about spirit boons. When you are leveling Druid, at around level 15, you will unlock spirit boons. You will be dropping a specific currency, which is a quest currency. If you ever pick it up, you wonder where did it go. It went into the quest tab, and you can hand these in. You can activate these skill notes in Skullglen. And there's like I don't know. I think it was this one. Yes, in this one in Tuldra. Hopefully I pronounced that one correctly. Tuldra. You go here. This is like the Druid hub. You have to liberate it first. It is a stronghold that you must conquer. Once you have conquered the stronghold, this becomes available. This starts at level 15. You don't need to rush here, right? Like the second you unlock it, you don't need to go here. Just keep on doing the campaign. You'll come here automatically. And once you are here, let's go further down. Once you are here, you can talk to one of these spirits here. You have the snake spirit, the wolf spirit. You gotta do a little quest before these all unlock. And you can talk to them and you can offer the boons. You can see I've already unlocked every boon for every spirit, so we no longer get the currency. We no longer need to unlock it. You still have to do. Here you can see the price. Every stage is plus 25. So this one is 25, this one is 50, 75, and this one costs you a total of 100 points. It's every spirit is the same. Every spirit requires a total of 100 points to unlock every note. And once you have unlocked every single node, you will be able to choose a spirit to pick 2 boons, to keep 2 boons active, okay? We took the snake spirit, not only because snake spirit will gives us calm before the storm. This is a very important one to pick up. It has been nerfed, but it is still incredibly good. What it does is we get a lucky hit proc chance that with nature magic skills, aka every single ability, we have a 10% chance to reduce the cooldowns of my ultimate skill, which is our Grizzly Rage, which is like our big strong bear form, makes us unstoppable, you know, crazy powerful, to reduce that by 2 seconds. So that's a very important one. Currently I am running Masochistic because critical strikes with shapeshift skills will heal you. I have specifically picked this node up for Uber Lilith to try to pulverize. I find pulverize a little bit more comfortable. I'll talk about that, you know, in a different video when I finally kill her. But for now, I picked up Masochistic because healing is very important on that fight. But if not, run Obsidian Slam. Even though Obsidian Slam again also has been nerfed, it is still a very good skill to pick up. Here we want to take Calamity. Extends the duration, adds 2.5 seconds to our Grizzly Rage, which is just direct damage increase. I will say, if you have spirit issues, you can also try out Energize. It is another lucky hit mechanic, but dealing any form of damage has a chance to restore additional spirit. It is not too bad. It's a little bit RNG, but it can be quite handy. Here we want to just pick up the critical strike chance. Critical strike is our best stat. And here we want to take the reduced damage from elites because, you know, elites are the most dangerous, and anything else here doesn't really matter. Torrents we don't do, 10 spirit is nothing, and CC we are completely always immune, so it's like, or almost all the time immune, so it doesn't really matter. So 10% reduce here, critical strike here, either Calamity or energize if you want to, if you have issues with spirit. And then either masochistic if you want to heal more. Always pick up calm before the storm, and if not, just play obsidian slam. It's a great note still. So that's about the boons, right? They're just get it done once, unlock them, select it, forget about it. All right. That's about the build. About the skill notes. Before we go into the paragon board, let me quickly showcase the legendary and their aspects. This build does quote unquote require the unique Vasili's Prayer. It allows us to cast all our earth skills in bear form, meaning we are always bear form. We also get our earth skills during Grizzly Rage, because normally you get bear only abilities, but now, Earth Bulwark is a bear skill, Earth Spike is a bear skill, so you get these even during your ultimate, which is amazing. It will also help us with our fortify. We get a lot of fortify generation, and the stats on it are quite nice too. Damage overpower, well, it doesn't really matter that much, but damage while shapeshifted and maximum life are very good stats. This is where we pick up the slow. Earth damage from earth skills will slow enemy. Slow is a CC, so anything that says, like our gems, critical strike to excuse me, to crowd controlled enemies will also affect enemies that are slowed. And we always slow, so this is always active. Okay, except for bosses, because bosses cannot be slowed. This is our lag play. We pick up this armor note, the disobedience. I expect it to get nerfed quite heavily. It is crazy powerful. It is a 50% multiplier on armor. Armor is hands down our best stat. For any class, I believe armor is the best stat you can possibly get. It reduces all physical damage taken to enemies of equal level. That last bit is a bit important. I'll talk about that, maybe in a different video. But it is important to keep in mind it is equal level where armor effect is at its most effective. And with this note, with disobedience, you just go armor cap. Especially as a bear, you will reach 100% physical damage reduction. It's not 100% immunity, but you will take significantly less damage. And it will add 50% of that into elemental resistance, which is also incredibly strong. So armor, big good, big important. Disobedience, hands down the strongest note we can get on geared defensive. Our gloves, we want to make sure we have at least a ranks to pulverize. Rank to pulverize is very good. It'll just add a better scaling to pulverize, which is just huge damage. Critical strike, lucky hit, all very good stats. I have attack speed, but ideally you want critical strike damage with earth skills, because that's just more damage. Attack speed is not too bad, but it could definitely be better. The imprint is the Werebeast, the Rampaging Werebeast, which gives Grizzly Rage 5 extra seconds, but also 10% more critical strike damage, which is just, incredible. Now, this is one of the two key aspects that you must get, and this is the most important one. This is the shockwave aspect. It will make Pulverize create a shockwave that travels forward, dealing, percentage of damage. The main thing why this is so incredible is because there is a certain spot in the Pulverize where it will double dip, meaning you will hit the enemy with Pulverize, but you will also hit them with the Shockwave, meaning you just directly increase your single target damage and your clearing speed by a significant amount. This is like the strongest aspect you must get. Okay, this is the key, number uno aspect you must get. On the necklace, we put core skills deal more damage based on fortify. Again, we are always at maximum fortify, so this is always 60% increased damage. Quite nice bonus. This is the other important aspect for Pulverize. You can get this one from a codex. So I'll quickly show you guys. Codex of Power, Offensive, my class only. Let me quickly look where it's at. Grizzly Rage. This one is also here, but it's a very low roll because it's all baseline. Codex is always baseline. So Grizzly Rage is not that good. But here we have it. Aspect of the Earth Sign Horror. You get this from the Belfry, Zagara, and Hawazar. Hopefully I pronounced it correctly. In the Belfry, Zagara, and Hawazar, you get this note. And once you unlock it, feel free to slap it on whatever piece you get. Because this one, we mainly pick this up to turn Pulverize into an Earth skill. That is its primary function, and just having this always available is, we need this one, but it is not hard to get. And then finally, Another good multiplier is Earth skills deal more critical strike damage to crowd controlled enemies. Like I said before, slows the crowd control. We can even see this one here in the explanation stat for crowd control. Let's see, damage versus crowd control. And well, like, where is the healthy core, shapeshift, whipper core? Wait a second, what is going on? Why is it not here? Am I like going too fast, or am I like blind, or is it no longer displayed here? Attack speed, critical strike chance, damage, overpower, damage, vulnerable, all damage, elite, close, healthy, wow, fortified. Alright, it seems that versus crowd control is not displayed because I probably don't have a role except for the gems. But anyway, crowd control is slow, stun, immobilized, knockback, knockdown. That is all CC. Okay, so keep that in mind. This one is always active because of the power of the chest. Alright. These are the aspects we run. You could change it around a little bit. You don't need to keep this on your chest. You don't need to keep this on your legs. You can put this on your chest, but just, these are the ones you want to get. And the important ones really are disobedience, shockwave, turn pulverize into an earth skill, and everything else is just multiplier. This is the only mandatory unique, but it plays perfectly fine without, like I said earlier in the first bit of the video where we just, talk about what to do while leveling. We don't pick up Earth Spike exactly for that reason because it is not a werebear skill yet. But when you get this helmet, you're good to go. Alright. So that's the skill tree, that's the aspects, that's the spirit boons, that's everything else. Let's quickly go over the paragon board. I will not show you every single note and what it does because that would literally turn this into a 2.5 hour video. But I will show you quickly the way I padded it. We start here. Everybody starts at this exact note. We go into the right side, pick up prime, pick up the glyph slot. I might make another video going into detail about glyphs. It requires a little bit more explanation, but if you want to pause the video and just read what it does, or you have already reached this point, and you understand how glyphs function, then the padding here will explain that this requires dexterity. Exploit is also our most important glyph because it is the only way for our build to apply vulnerable, and vulnerable is a big multiplier in damage. It is not good for bossing, but it is incredible for pack clear speed. So we want to focus on picking up 25 dexterity to unlock the additional bonus, because that is the important one, and I'll read out what it says. It's when an enemy is damaged by you, they will become vulnerable for 3 seconds. This cannot happen more than 20 seconds on each enemy, but that's fine. We need to only trigger it once, and we'll one-shot them. But this is a very important one. We want to get this one first, okay? And this is also the best board to get it on, so it's very convenient. You pick it up, you fill up all the dex notes until you have, I would advise, 25. You meet the requirements, get 25 dexterity, and continue. We go into Impale, and then we activate our first board. I cannot show you how it looks when we activate the first board because I have it. And changing this would cost me many millions of gold, which I do not have. We only have 3 million. Changing the whole board would cost me like 20 million. So I do not have that currently. We can rotate boards whenever we apply them. So I cannot show you how to rotate the board. But again, you could just pause the video and look how I set up the board and then rotate it to match, the legendary node in this position and the glyph in this position, and then just rotate it because this is important. From here on out, we go up, we pick up the legendary node. We don't go this way yet. We go back down here. We get the glyph, we fill it out. This is our intelligence glyph. I took this one specifically for the additional damage reduction. And again, we are always fortified, so this is a no-brainer. This is just a good note to take. You could skip this one until later. It's not a big thing. It's just 10% more werebear damage, or 20% more werebear damage, and overpower. But overpower is not really a big thing. This is mainly for 20% werebear. Once we pick this up, we go into our next board. And I took this board second, but I will tell you now, you might want to consider picking up this board first. Reason why is because there's a very strong potent note in here. It is not natural attunement. It is plus 16 spirit. It is reclamation. Reclamation is a very good note to pick up. It'll give us plus 2 spirit on kill. But as we path down to it, we get +1 spirit on kill, means we get +3 spirit on kill. So every monster that we kill, we get 3 spirit back, which is quite huge because we are always limited by spirit. Pulverize Druids, one limitation is spirit, alright? Is everything revolves around it. It is the reason why we play Earth Might. Spirit is our #1 crux. It'll stop us from doing damage every single time, okay? So Reclamation is a super good note to have. Once we pick up Reclamation, we pat down here into Ancestral Guidance. We go up here. This is just more core damage. Just, you know, you could do this later if you feel like it. I took it right away. And then we go here. We pick up another glyph. We put Territorial in here. We get 10% damage reduction against close. We get the Dexterity nodes, and we are always close. We are always immediately almost all the time. So another damage increase to close enemies is a good thing, right? We do not go into this board yet. This is the final board. We go back down here. We pick up the Earth and Devastation board. And again, you need to rotate the board to have it match exactly as this, because I think it does not start out this way. So make sure you like pause it, look how I rotated it, and put it in. I cannot show you how to rotate it because again I can't reset it. We quickly rush the legendary note, earn Devastation. It'll give us more increased damage to enemies that are crowd controlled, aka always, except bosses. We go down, we pick up the glyph. This is the board where you can get the most willpower outside of the starting board, but this one has less dexterity than the starting board, so this is the best place to go. Werebear glyph. Again, we are always Werebear, obviously, and we get another 10% damage reduction, right? All these damage reductions are very important because we play hardcore. We don't want to die. We don't want to, rip. We fill out the requirements as much as possible. We go down and take up Crushing Earth. It's another big multiplier in damage. Most of these are just damage. The one that is just, not damage is Reclamation here. It's a very important one. It's a very big one. So you could consider, again, picking this one up first. It's very important. And then finally, this is the one board where we do not go for the legendary note. This board spawns exactly like this. So when you attach the board, you don't need to rotate this one. I do remember you do not need to rotate this one. You put it up here. You pat into here, Devastation, more damage. You go here. This is another Dexterity node. This is, a pure damage node, increased critical strike damage. We always crit when we trigger Earth and Might, so it's very beneficial. We go down, we take Courage, get a little bit of willpower, a little bit of life, and we take Nature's Will for even more damage. Fill out the Dexterity for our glyphs, because this is a Dexterity glyph. And this is the board which gives us the most dex, 49, so we get the biggest bonus on Dexterity in this board here. And once you have done this, and everything looks exactly like this, congratulations, because that means you have made it to level 100, and you are officially done with leveling. So I think that kind of quickly highlights everything you should be doing on Druid, everything you can be doing on Druid. If you want to go into a little bit more in-depth early tricks and tips, I had another video. I posted it earlier. But if you're specifically looking for the Druid build, this is it. All right? So good luck. If you want to try out hardcore, don't die. Pray for no disconnects because Blizzard has been a little bit unstable lately. And hopefully you make it to 100. Good luck. See you guys. Peace.